Hi pal, welcome back to Universal Studios Orlando. We have a lot of different things to talk about today. So starting off here at the entrance with the arches, we're going to have two new light fixtures that have popped up. So on our right side as well as our left side are going to be lights pointing down towards the arches that typically will have the posters of the houses that will be in the event, and we're hoping to see some really cool ones pop up here pretty soon. So our event will start right here at this front gate, which will lead us into our opening ceremonies. Now, as soon as we walk into Universal, we see this massive structure that has popped up, which has a lot of fog machines and lights around it. Now, we're not sure what this catwalk is up on top or what it will be used for, but as you can see, this scare zone is going to be pretty massive. Now, continuing down and making a right, we actually have some food booths that have started to pop up. The first one looks like it will end up being Stranger Things pizza themed, which I think is really cool. And the second one looks like it'll be based on the Yeti house we will be getting, as you can see by the cabin look to it, as well as the claw marks that are up here on the front. Now around the corner, we actually have two food booths that look like they will be The Last of Us themed, because we can see the Fedra boxes as well as the symbols that have been spray painted on the buildings. Pretty sure this area here is going to be extremely busy throughout the night. Now continuing into the Vamp 69 scare zone, there are multiple motorcycles that are hidden behind these barricades here. Like, look at this bad boy. These are going to be really cool to see if these are actually used or not. And the stage looks incredible. There are so many new props that we have up here with all the different speakers and the guitars and the drums that are kind of hidden away right now behind these blankets. It's been very hot out, so it's probably weather related. Now also in the background, we have this giant tapestry that has the vampire symbol on it, or what we can assume is a symbol, and it's really cool. And I am excited to see what this show might look like and how they explain it. Now, as we can see on the lampposts here, they have these brand new posters that are hanging up to show the bands that would have been performing if they were not taken over by vampires. Now, our biggest prop of this scare zone is this giant psychedelic bus that we have painted up. It's an absolutely incredible piece of art that they have here. There are multiple broken windows on the side, which leads us to believe that there will be scare actors on this bus, and to see how they interact and what story they tell, it's going to be pretty remarkable. On the back side, of course, we do have our friend the fog machine. There's a lot of them around here, especially in this scare zone, and as we can see, there's more broken windows here on the back side of this bus. And of course, this should go without saying, but please do not climb the bus, the stage, or any prop at Halloween Horror Nights, for your safety and for the scare actors as well. It's very dark here and they can't see what they're doing, neither can we. And as we keep going further, we see more of these pardon our dust signs, but we also see these different booths here that look like they would be merchandise booths for a music festival, but I don't believe that we'll actually be able to purchase anything from them in the middle of a scare zone, but who knows, we might be able to. I'm really hoping for the posters that they have hanging up on the lamppost we'll be able to purchase at the tribute store this year. It's like a poster pack, usually like a pack of 4 or something. Not sure if we will or not, but the artwork on them is just incredible. I wonder who drew this up and how long it took them to think of the different names and just how long it took them to make the artwork for them. Now, the San Francisco Fisherman's Wharf, we have new light structures that are popping up for this scare zone, but we also have these brand new crates and cages in the middle of the scare zone. Now for the blue crate, we can see that there is a window here, so there might be a scare actor inside. But for the cage, we absolutely can see that the scare actor will be back on the right. Now there are multiple different crates and boxes sprinkled throughout this scare zone that might hold the fog machines as well as like the speaker system. Now on the back side, we do have the facade that is starting to form, as well as what looks like a lighthouse that will be back here. It's going to be a pretty cool scare zone to see in the dark. There's also going to be a pretty massive bar back here in the back side, so it's going to be pretty cool to see just what they do with this one, and if it's going to be wharf related or siren related, and how it'll fit into the theming of this scare zone. Now you can really only see this during the day, but beyond these trees here right beside Nightmare Fuel, you can kind of catch a glimpse of the top of one of the houses that is being constructed in the back, and this one is the one that we believe will be Dr. Oddfellow's house. Now as you saw in the thumbnail, we have a very big update for the Last of Us house. We actually got the massive news that the original voice actors will be reprising their roles for the house here at Universal Studios. According to Laura Sauls, who's the senior manager of the creative development group and show direction for Universal Orlando, she stated that we got to use the voice actors from the video game. We did voiceover recordings with them and they re-recorded our entire dialogue for our haunted house. So we were very, very excited to work with both Troy and Ashley on the re-recording of our haunted house dialogue. Now another pretty incredible piece to this is that, as the article states, in addition to having the original characters come back to re-record their dialogue, Universal also worked directly with Naughty Dog to bring the video game to life, which just shows their appreciation and love for the series, and I think that's pretty important for the fans. According to the article, Neil Druckmann, director of both The Last of Us games and co-creator and co-writer for the TV adaptation, specifically requested that Pittsburgh be used as a setting for the house. According to Universal, when working with Neil and team, they actually said to us, "Can we lean into the Pittsburgh part of the first video game?" And we were like, sure. We later found out that that graphic in the Pittsburgh area got so many accolades online, and we understood why Neil wanted us to lean into Pittsburgh. And again, I believe with that, it just shows the kind of care and respect that they do have for the franchise, and I believe that they're just going to make this house as incredible as they possibly can. Now the exit facade is starting to appear. We're pretty excited to see just what takes shape here in the next coming weeks. The jungle scare zone is my favorite scare zone so far, and I think they're just going to be incredible. Look at these giant spiders that are on the wall here. There are even giant ones hanging up in the trees. I'm not sure how they're going to do it with scare actors, but I'm pretty excited to see it. And we have tons of crates here that had supplies from when Dr. Oddfellow crashed. And these giant leaves, I'm not sure if this was Dr. Oddfellow or the creatures making their homes, but it's pretty interesting to see, and the detail to it is wild. And as we look up, we see these massive bats that are hanging down. There was actually one in the far distance there that was swaying. It is hard to explain just how big these things are in person. They seem like they're at least 4 feet tall, if not 5 foot tall. And this one's just up here swaying away, living his best life. And as we see again, we have more supplies from Dr. Oddfellow with this octane tank here. We have different oil canisters and different boxes that are all around. We also have some 220 cartridges for a 30 caliber. So that's a little scary. Now we were wondering what the giant metal structure was that was over in the grass, but we later found out that it was actually the plane that Dr. Oddfellow crashed in when he came here to the jungle. And this is also a pretty massive structure in person. The video does not do it justice. Now we have this box that has a lot of writing on it, but I'm not entirely sure what it says. I've tried to read it, but it's a bunch of jumbled numbers and jumbled letters to me. And of course we have more gasoline and more products that are here for Dr. Oddfellow. Now one of my favorite areas is a small section here that has more cartridges of course, but a very small camera which could allude to one of our past Horror Nights icons, the director. This might be a nice subtle little Easter egg. Now my lovely girlfriend, hi Carissa, everybody wave back at her, say hi Carissa, is standing in front of the Day of the Dead bar, which is a fan favorite from last year that looks like is returning. Now as we enter into our last scares on the Dark Zodiac, you see this giant light structure that has popped up. And of course, our best friends, the fog machines. We see them all over the place. There are more that are going to be popping up. We love them here. Now in the scare zone, we actually have 2 very impressive stages that have popped up recently. And they're just remarkable. The attention to detail and the Zodiac signs and the metal structures here are incredible. I don't know too much about the Zodiac signs besides my own, but these are just pretty incredible, and I wonder how long it took for them to make these signs into these metal structures. So in our last video, we talked about the Minion Line sign and where the icon would potentially go at to welcome us into Halloween Horror Nights. And we saved the best for last here. We have Dr. Oddfellow's stagecoach that welcomes you in to his Carnival of Oddities and Halloween Horror Nights 32. The stagecoach is incredible with the attention to detail, especially with the little circus tent on the back where the scare actor can potentially hide at. I love how this looks, and I cannot wait to see how he welcomes us into Halloween Horror Nights, and it's going to be an incredible piece throughout the entire event. I cannot wait for us to finally meet Dr. Oddfellow. Alright pal, well that's the video for the day, and we'll be back with another one pretty soon. Appreciate you stopping by. We just hit 30 subscribers also. I think that's kind of a wild number. It's very small, but still it's pretty cool. Again, thank you for stopping by, and you look great by the way.